Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we've got a Mike de Kock special, basically, because we're going to be chatting to Mike in Dubai, and we put that into 3 to follow because we needed to chat to him there, and then we're going to be finding out from him in your call all about his horses and his thoughts on his horses that are going to race in Dubai over the carnival. So a very big show, and with me none other than the esteemed Dees Dynan. Nice to have you with me, Dees.
Thanks for that introduction, James. But pleasure being on the show as always. And well done to you over the weekend, Goody. 2 winners, string looking good.
You know what? They say every dog has his day. Even a mongrel gets a bone every now and again. That's a very famous saying as far as I'm concerned, because I felt like the mongrel that got the bone. So
Goody, with the string that you have, I think that was half your string at the race course on Saturday. So the stats will speak for itself. Fantastic for your yard.
Thank you very much, Dees. And you know, as normal, give us up to date on Racing South Africa. What's going on there? How's it going there?
Yeah, things going okay. We just got back to work on the 6th of January. Yeah, looking forward to the new year. Of course, we got all the sales to look forward to. Coming up will be the Cape Thoroughbred sales at the end of the month. And then we just box on, Goody. We're looking up to the National Yearling Sale.
Well, it was nice to see Robert Chung's horse winning yesterday, one of our Hong Kong owners.
Yeah, fantastic for him. Thought he'll have a double with Mediterranean Man. But yeah, nice for Azure Sky, which was all the rage from the Dryer stable. Yeah, nice to see him have a winner. And, you know, we appreciate their support. And the more winners they can get, the more we can get them to buy.
The other highlight as far as Hong Kong was concerned was that little kid, Mo. I call him Jackie Chan, okay, having his first winner.
Yeah, Dylan Mo and Jonathan. Jonathan was...
Jonathan's Johnny Chan. He's not just a poor relation. Jackie's the boy.
Yeah, but Dylan, you know, one thing that the guys, I mean, should know is that he had a lot of time trials in Hong Kong. So when he came to the academy, he was quite experienced. So Jonathan is taking a bit of time, but he seems to be the more forward of the 2 Hong Kong boys. Really nice to see him have a winner, and I really enjoyed that interview because when I chat to Dylan on a regular basis, his English seems to be okay, but he was just overwhelmed and he forgot the English thing.
Well, you know, a big thank you to Craig Udy. Craig Udy looked after them over the Christmas period, you know, when all these other appies go and lie on the beach and eat Christmas pudding, which I think is completely wrong.
Yes.
And Dylan and Jonathan actually stayed at the academy and came to work every day, and he deserves the success that he gets. You know, those appies that worked over Christmas deserve all the rides.
And especially for you guys, the trainers, because I've chatted to a few trainers, including yourself. Very difficult to get guys to do a bit of work riding for you guys in the morning because everybody seems to be on leave, and that should be the ideal time for the appies to get a bit of experience.
Okay, well, let's move on, Dees. Thanks for that, and let's move on to our 3 to follow. Well, we've only got 1 to follow. The other 2 will be Mike de Kock chatting to us on the line live from Dubai. And let's go and have a look at it. Harry's son. Now, this was Paul Lafferty bought this in Australia last year, and this was mightily impressive. Won a maiden juvenile plate at Scottsville. Let's go and pick him up at the start. He makes a complete hash of the start, and really got to be a pretty good juvenile to win the way he did.
Yeah, very easy to pick up, James. He's in the Roy Moody silks on the outside. Obviously slow away with Stuart Randolph. That's the green sleeves and the orange cap. Now towards the back of the field, James, the horse was very green out the gates.
Yeah, I think they went a pretty good pace up front. Mine's very fast in front and falls in a hole. But this horse, the way he won, he comes he's out of the picture now. And he's got the white flash face and the orange cap. Now he just gets starting to be asked to be picked up now.
Yeah, and you know, with juveniles, James, you miss the break, you lose a couple of lengths. It's difficult to make up the ground, but yeah, you know, this individual seems a bit sensible the one in which he got the job done. You know, at the 400, Stuart Janov just gave him the wake-up call, and he seemed to pick them up effortlessly. And I thought one easier than the margin suggests. Here you can see just Stuart just punching him out, and he looks like a horse that we're going to follow.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty useful. You know, it's very hard to pick up juveniles at this time of the year, but this does look like a nice horse. You don't win maiden juveniles like that easily.
You know, Mike de Kock had a runner in the race called Mastermind that was scratched, but I can tell you that even before the scratching, the guys were confident. I know Phil Giorgio was confident, so was Roy, who's assisting Laff while he's away, and all the connections were on course. And this horse, you know, the plus is that he's got a pedigree, James. He's a half-brother to that horse, Rock of Us, that won the Empress Palace Ready to Run, and I think Henry the Navigator, so the further the better.
Should be fun for Laff, and good luck to him. Let's go and move on, and we're going to be chatting to Mike de Kock in Dubai.
Soft falling rain, the 3-year-old is coming at hard thick. He's picking him up with every stride. Soft falling rain alongside hard thick. He puts his head in front. Soft falling rain is drawing clear. Soft falling rain has won the Godolphin Mile.
Mike, hi, nice to have you on the line from Dubai, and just talking about last week before we get into this week. I don't think you expected as much as 2 winners, did you?
No, not at all, James. You know, we expected probably out for this horse. I think it was 117 running against 106, and I think that's what at the end of the day got him through. And Arabia, I didn't expect him to win. He never thought he would have done well. You're on above expectation.
Were there any disappointments amongst your string last week? Anything you thought would run better? I saw Daddy Longlegs didn't go through with it.
A bit better. Daddy Longlegs, but I think he's looking for a lot further. Thought El Estrondosa would go a little better. Still not sure whether he stays or goes on the Tabita, because, you know, twice he's had first up runs on the Tabita, so it's hard to make a correct assessment.
And, all right, let's go into this week. I see that you've got the 2 Guineas trials, and you've got the top-rated horses in both of them.
Yeah, look, those South African horses I've actually really sort of just pushed to get where we are now. We're definitely a little bit behind with them. But as I say, they've only been here just over a month now, so we've squeezed them quite hard in a month. And they're quite tough as taking it, you know, so we'll have a crack.
And I see they've still got the stakes at $75,000, so I suppose you don't find that strong a field in them.
Well, it's actually improved from about $30,000 it used to be, so it's not bad. Can't complain.
The horse that is interesting, probably to South Africans, is El Estrondosa. I think he ran last week, didn't he? And
he ran last week, yeah. I might run him again this week. We'll see how he works tomorrow and make up our minds. I mean, probably 75% chance that he'll run.
What would you make your best on the day on what you've seen so far?
James, probably those 3-year-olds. The top of the head, I can't think of anything else.
All right, well, listen, go and have a good time and enjoy, and thank you so much for joining us. And the Phil Giorgio's team starting to look quite good to come over for the Let's Go Travel team, and they're looking forward to coming around your stables on Dubai World Cup night, so that should be fun.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have them around. It's amazing having support, actually, and I hope Phil gets the support he deserves because he puts on a great show.
Well, you have a good one, and thanks so much for joining us again, and we'll chat to you next week. All the best.
Cheers. Cheers, buddy. Thanks very much.
Mike de Kock on the line from Dubai.
Soft falling rain, the 3-year-old is coming at hard thick. He's picking him up with every stride. Soft falling rain alongside hard thick. He puts his head in front. Soft falling rain is drawing clear. Soft falling rain has won the Godolphin Mile.
Well, there there you go. And this will be a weekly feature. Mike will be chatting to us about his horses. Very interesting to see. He had a lot of runners last week.
Yeah, and watching the racing, well done to him, Mushrak, and of course Anna Robia that came out to win for him. Nice to see him get off early in the carnival, James. It's always a good sign.
Well, the point being, and as he said, that he was a bit worried that he hadn't done enough with them. And I think you see the two horses that won were horses that had been there a bit longer. But the South African horses, I think he's a bit worried that he's a bit behind.
Yeah, he used the word squeezed, so he's putting in the hours and the hard work, and all credit to our horses that had to do the traveling and get there, and now they have to go to this hard training, so it just shows how tough we breed them, Jeff.
We certainly do, and we're looking forward to seeing the South African horses running in the Guineas trial on Thursday night. We're going to move on and look at one of our South African favourite champions, Igugu, winning the Met.
Now we're ready to race. And gates are open, they have fired away. Tales of Bravery flew out from a 15 stall and goes up to lead with Astra News going up handy and Igugu pushing through in third. Beach Beauty is also up with the lead too. The Gallop's a good one early on. Lion in Winter races in behind those. Emerald Cove has slipped through the fence to get a good position. Il San Pietro's been shuffled back. He's about 5 off them. Bravura is now on the move around runners and going up to look for the lead as they go down towards the 1500 metre mark. Astro News has now come forward to pick it up, but Bravura on the far side is going up to join that because the pace has slowed up just a little, and Tales of Bravery settle back in third. They followed then by Emerald Cove along the inside, and Gimme the Green Light has moved around runners but races 3 deep on the outside. Igugu is racing next and she's 5 lengths off the lead. Cask and Fabiani are now going past them. There's no real pace on. Beach Beauty races in behind that, followed then by the Apache, is 6-7 lengths off them. Lion in Winter is just along his inside. Then comes Il San Pietro. Superstorm is further back. Runford races back 1 from last, and Smunche Munche is at the back of the field, and he's 12 lengths off the leader. 800 metres left to go, and Bravura has come to the front in a slow run race and picks it up from Gimme the Green Light, is racing up in second. They followed by Astro News, who's back of the rail racing in third, and Fabiani 3 deep. Igugu is in touch with the leader. She'll corner just 2.5 off them. Tales of Bravery is back along her inside, and Cask is towards the outside as they spin in the stretch. Emerald Cove and Beach Beauty race further back. Bravura is out in front. Gimme the Green Light now starts to put on the pressure up on the outside. Meantime, Igugu has switched to the centre. She's unwinding a run too. Astro News is in behind those, and Tales of Bravery. Bravura, Gimme the Green Light. Igugu is flat to the boards in the centre. She still has 2 lengths to make up. Bravura is still in front. Gimme the Green Light is wearing it down. Now Igugu's in full cry in the centre, and Igugu is coming at Bravura and Gimme the Green Light, and Igugu won't be denied. She gets up to win it. Bravura back in second, got tight for third. Gimme the Green Light didn't go on with his effort. A wall of horses in behind that.
Well, what a race, and this year's Met promises to be no different.
Great race, James. Great race. There was, all the hype before the race about Igugu having an interrupted prep. I think she was in quarantine for a few weeks, and she didn't come into the race, 100%. That was the word, but she certainly saw the class.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. We're going to move on, and we're going to go and have a look at our Plum of the Week.
towards the outside, and Doris Duke is back towards their inside as they come down to the final 300. Jean's Pride tackled now by Maybe Yes, and Money Surge is coming on well up towards the outside. There's plenty of chances. Maybe Yes has put her head in front. Money Surge up the outside, and Jean's Pride's trying to come back for more, but Maybe Yes is claiming the advantage and going on, and Maybe Yes, too good here, goes on to win a good run. In behind them, Jean's Pride, in behind that, Money Surger, further back to Diva's Daughter. Valdivia was in behind that with Doris Duke.
Well, this is a good filly, Maybe Yes, and she was in the right race. Brett Crawford put her in the right place. She could have got 9-2 on Interbet, which is an amazing price. She ended up starting very much shorter, and she looked like an absolute blinder.
Brave man, James. You're a brave man, because this was the first leg of the pick six, carry over pick six
What
to
difference
boot.
does it make? It's a race, geez.
I know, I understand.
You know, work it out.
I understand, but for pick six players, I don't think many would have banked
But
this.
you know what? This is where people make an error, I believe. Okay, look at the race for what it is, not for what may happen, what the pick six may do, and you may get a big result, and you may do that. If you looked at this race and you studied it, this filly was never a 9-2 shot, and she ended up starting 15-10.
I put I put three horses in the pick six, but if you're suggesting that she was worth a punt and maybe cover her in the pick six, I could understand. But brave man, James. Brave man if you bank this in the pick six.
Well, I just thought it was the plum of the week because they're great owners, Gary Grant and Chris Haynes, the Ladieras and Jessica Slack, and bred by her mother, Volgaborstriff, Mary. And a beautiful filly. This is a very, very nice filly indeed. Brett Crawford had 3 winners on the day. Glenn Hatt, fantastic team.
Yeah, but Brett, his string just keeps going from strength to strength. Well done to him. Brett Crawford had 3 winners on the day. Dennis Dreyer had 3 winners on the day. And of course, let's not forget the big one, Dean Caname and his team. It was a wonderful day's racing, James. It just looked brilliant. From the visuals that I was getting on Teletrack, it looked like a great day.
Yeah, I think Dennis is, keeping those mountain goats at bay. They look like they're battling a little bit with him. They're battling to be able to eat a little bit of the leavings.
Dennis is making a habit of it, and we're proud of him. He takes his A-team down there, and he really shows those boys.
Just a quick question before we go and watch some racing. What would you do if you had Beach Beauty and Master of My Fate in the Met? Would you run them both, or would you run one of them?
I think if I was an owner of Beach Beauty, I'd like to have her in the Met. It's not about proving anything. She's been there, done that. I think she's earned a black type in no uncertain terms, and it'll be nice to see her win one of the big ones. I'd really like to see her in the Met. Of course, Master of My Fate will definitely be in the Met, so 2 strings to your bow. Why not, James?
I quite agree with you. We're going to go and have a look at some racing, and we'll be back with Current Affairs, where we're going to be talking about Queen's Plate Day. Well, there we go. Let's go and have a look at what we have on the table as far as current affairs is concerned. And the big day was obviously Queen's Plate Day. And yet again, marvelous, marvelous production and effort by those boys. That Jonathan Snaith, he's a revelation, because when you look at the way the makeup is, you'd never believe that he could get a thing like this going. But he's obviously a bright kid.
I don't know about that, James, but I've had conversations with him because we do a few adverts for the Queen's Place in EBN, the European Bloodstock News, and he's always putting in an advert. But the build-up to the day was fantastic on Teletrack, in the media, in the newspapers. I'm also told that on Cape Radio, it was there day in and day out. So they're really building this into an event, a must event on the racing calendar.
It is fantastic to be able to showcase our racing like they do for the Met and the July and even the Summer Cups, the big races. It really does make a difference to our image, because there are people from all over the world that come and have a look at these things and they think, how can this happen in Africa? Well, it just shows you we are pretty civilized, and certainly Gaynor Rupert and Drachenstein and them are very civilized, and it's a very civilized event. I would love to have been there, but I watched the whole production on Supersport. It was really, really good.
Didn't catch it on Supersport. We were working on the day, but I think the key word there is image, James, because you need to create some kind of hype about an event. And the Queen's Plate now, we know, blue and white. Blue and white, and you know, it's an event, a social event, a highlight in Cape on their social scene beside horse racing, because you need to build it up to some kind of level where people want to attend rather than, you know, I just want to be there. You know, guys want to attend the event. It seems that way now.
But it's all about horse racing, and let's go and have a look at a couple of the races on the day, because the racing was spectacular. And we're going to kick off with the only horse ever to have his colours lowered by one of mine. Master My Fate got beaten by Aldrich in the maidens. Let's go and have a look at him winning the Peninsula. Imagine if Aldrich had it
now, with just over 600 metres left to go. Brown Penny brought the field for home. Master of My Fate poised to have a crack at that one down the inside, and Punta Arenas just in behind these. Hill 54 races further back, and Master Sabina's down towards the inside. Zakaiser's got running in him too. He's making progress down towards the inside, but Master of My Fate, meantime, has come forward to pick it up in the centre of the course, and that's the one they've all got to beat. Master of My Fate is powering home in the centre. Down towards the inside, Punta Arenas is trying to make a race of it. Awesome Power from the back of the field. Master of My Fate. Awesome Power, the only danger, but Master of My Fate too good. Master of My Fate stays on from Awesome Power at Punta Arenas. In behind them, Hill 54. Hot Ticket came home late. In behind that one, Laurie's Gold.
Well, that was pretty damn impressive. He had a draw to overcome. He had the weight against him because he's only a young horse. He looked like he had a lot of things against him, and he still showed them a clean pair of heels.
And the biggest factor was his handicap hike. He was pushed up 9 kgs. Every horse that he beat in his previous race were far better off at the weights with him. He had a lot to prove here, and just the manner in which he got the job done, Jay, impressive, I think, is an understatement. This horse is destined for championship.
Well, the acid test is the Met. That's where he's going. And if he wins the Met, he could be the horse of the year in South Africa, this horse.
Looks that way. He looks that way. He really has a bright future. I think he's only starting up his engine now, James. That's what I'd like to think. I think he's just getting, he's just showing us what he's capable of now.
Let's go and have a look at the next feature on the day, the Politician Stakes.
10 to race at the back of the field, and sitting 10 lengths off that leader round the turn towards the 800. Cape Cutter, the one in front. Up there in second, Orion, Blaze of Noon. Behind that in third position, we find Count's Rocket. A length and a half next in running comes Brave Lead on the inside of Strongman. Roman Manor, Marmalade Tycoon, and Helderberg Blue is going to whip them in as they flatten for the run to the judge. 600 metres left to go. Cape Cutter in front, trying to make each and every caller winning one. Orion is closest in second. Blaze of Noon is starting to creep closer along the inside. Count's Rocket is being switched out for a run. 3 lengths further back in running, we find Helderberg Blue. He's got a wall to climb as they enter the final 200. Cape Cutter, Blaze of Noon, Strongman down the inside, Roman Manor. Helderberg Blue has come to the stand side. They've found across the track. Blaze of Noon is coming at Cape Cutter. Strongman is running an absolute cracker. Up the outside, Marmalade Tycoon. It's Strongman getting to the front. Strongman in a photo on the outside with Blaze of Noon. These two hit the wire together. I fancy maybe...
Interesting race. The two good things, Helderberg Blue and the crabbier horse, Roman Manor, look to have this race absolutely at their mercy. And this throws a very big question mark on the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how this form line is going to hold up because, as we mentioned, the 2 talking horses and the 2 horses that seem to have the best form coming to the race have faltered. But I'll take nothing away from Strongman and Blaze of Noon. Strongman had some pretty decent form before his last run, and I certainly think Blaze of Noon is now, you know, shown his hand here, because really nice for Ian Longmore, and of course Justin Snate also. You know, he comes good on these big days. Not that his string is not good the rest of the season. He's just having an awesome season. He's top of the trainer's log, so well done to Justin and his team.
Well, the interesting thing is on their last run, Helderberg Blue had to beat Blaze of Noon and didn't even get close, but apparently he played up very badly in the parade and the canter pass, and he'll probably be a gelding after this little effort, Helderberg Blue, but he's pretty good. Roman Manor is the Cape Guineas form. Now, does that hold up when you look at a race like this?
I don't know, you know, Dean Kannemeyer, when they had him on the show in the morning, he had a question mark over the distance. He was concerned about the distance, and one would have thought the way this horse was finishing over a mile, that the 1800 would be no problem for him. I don't know whether it was the distance that found him out, but I'm willing to forgive both horses, Roman Manor and Helderberg Blue, for these runs.
Okay, we're going to move on and we're going to have a look at the Paddock Stakes, which is probably the biggest fillies weight for age race in South Africa. It's got a tremendous pedigree. Terence Millard was the king of the Paddock Stakes, but Beach Beauty is the queen of the Paddock Stakes. Let's go and watch her win. This was fantastic from the start.
Forward, comes up, goes in a straight line. Ready to guard the 1800. All clear. Racing in the main Chance Farms Paddock Stakes. Europe to Africa, Hamizuka slow when the starter said go, losing 1 and 3 lengths respectively. Maximum Jet and Priceless Jewel, they began the quickers. Espumante is racing on the rail, along came Polly. Is pushing past runners on the outside, Jet Aglow. Jet Supreme is racing back at the rail, the red body, the white cap, and settling about 5 off the leader. A length and a half next comes Beach Beauty, who's racing on the outside of In the Fast Lane, and Europe to Africa sits on the rail. Then we find Hamizuka, Do You Remember Alaskan Maiden, Lana Falcon, Razzle Dazzle Rose, the 2 at the back. 14, 15 lengths cover the field as they take that turn. 1,200 meters left to go. Priceless Jewel, the one in front, sets the pace a length and a half, and Maximum Jet is racing in second. Half back on the inside, we got Espumante. She's just 2 lengths off that leader. A length away, we find Jet Supreme on the inside of Along Came Polly. Then comes Jet Aglow. 2 further back comes Europe to Africa, and Beach Beauty is 10 lengths off that leader. Hamizuka racing out her girth. Then comes In the Fast Lane, being followed next by Lana Falcon. Do You Remember Alaskan Maiden? Razzle Dazzle Rose, corners of the back as they straighten up in the main Chance Farms Paddock Stakes. 550 meters left to go. Priceless Jewel, the one in front, and Espumante is quick to move in and join issue. Maximum Jet is up the middle. Then comes Jet Supreme. Along came Polly. Beach Beauty's being angled to the outside, and she's starting a run, and so too In the Fast Lane as they enter the final 300. In front it's Priceless Jewel, but look left. Here comes Beach Beauty. Jet Aglow is trying to go with her into the closing stages. Down the inside we got Hamizuka. It's Beach Beauty that gets driven into the lead, into the final 100, and you can put the number in the frame. Beach Beauty from In the Fast Lane, Jet Aglow, and then came Hamizuka.
Well, that was breathtaking. This filly is a really, really good horse. She's not just good, she's really good.
James, I think you picked up a salient point. When we watched the 2012 JNB Met 2 years ago, she was unsettled. She still ran a decent race. She finished 5th. 2 years now passed, and she seems more settled, more relaxed, and she just seems that she's gotten better.
And she quickens up. You know, In the Fast Lane as the Fillies Guineas winner, she's the top filly, arguably, in South Africa of the 3-year-old bunch. I know everyone, Laff last week was carrying on about Along Comes Polly and Along Came this one and that one and the other one. They all came along. I said to him, nothing will touch this filly, Beach Beauty. You've got to be blind to see that she would win.
You know, when they took off In the Fast Lane and Beach Beauty, if you watch the replay, they took off together at around the 300-meter mark. And in a matter of strides, Beach Beauty was 2-3 lengths ahead of her.
Yeah, had a cold, and there were no excuses. I thought she was a bit further back than you'd normally see her, but she is brilliant. I'm dying to see her in the Met because I think she'll win the Met.
And it's a beautiful story, you know. Shank Syndicate, Mr. Kidd and John Biscoby and everybody. It's just what dreams are made of, James, and it'll be great to see in the Met. I'm hoping that she takes a place.
Well, what I'm omitted to mention is that the Armitages bred the winner of the last one and the winner of this. So, you know, for a little stud like that has been one of the foundation studs in South Africa, you know, always out at past Heidelberg there. Standerton, they had their farm and they bred some fantastic horses. Home Guard was the main one. To see the team breed, you know, a horse like these two horses was fantastic. And one was Trevor and one was GJ, but at the end of the day, it's all Armitage family. And you know, you've got young James now, Sandown stud down, doing the job in the Western Cape. So it's fantastic for them, and well done to the Armitages. They deserved it. But we're going to move on, and we're going to have a look at the big one on the day, the Queen's Plate.
clear. Gates fly, racing to a perfect beginning in the Lomra Queen's Plate. Cape Town Yorker, they began well. There goes No Worries pushing past. On the move too between runners, we've got Royal Zulu Warrior. And up there too, we got Lake Arthur who's going forward in search of the lead. And Jackson is also up there in the thick of things. We then drop further back to Shavidora, sitting 3 deep on the outside of King of Pain the Grey, who had to check on the rail. And outside of him, we've got the 3-year-old Red Ray, who's also improving position. Next, we find White Line Fever. Ice Machine has dropped back through the field. Behind that, we got Corridor and Jet Explorers racing out the end of the line and sitting a good 16 lengths off the leader as they head towards the middle of the bend, just over 800 meters left to go. No Worries, the one in front. He sets the pace and goes 3 lengths clear. Lake Arthur and Royal Zulu Warrior racing in second. A length and a half away, we find Jackson. On the move on the outside of runners, we got Castle Thorpe, who's 3 deep into the home straight. Cape Town sits on the rail, and behind that comes Shavida Aura. Yorkers being followed further back by Red Ray as they settle for the run to the line in the Lomra Queen's Plate and head towards the 400. No Worry says, come and catch me if you can. Lake Arthur is closest to him, and Jackson, he's starting to unleash his run up the middle. Cape Town has gone to the inside rail. Then comes Shavida Aura up the outside. Yorker, 200 meters left to go. Cape Town gets driven into the lead. Jackson is on the charge and he's coming with a late rally up the outside. Cape Town though has kicked away, and Cape Town wins the Lomra Queen's Plate from Jackson. Jet Explorer absolutely flew to run into third.
Well, pretty straightforward. The way I saw it is Jackson looked like a typical flat run. He hit a flat patch. He really didn't quicken up, but he was beaten by the better horse on the day, Cape Town Noir. Perfectly prepared for the race. Dean Canham as a master, okay, and fantastic for them.
Yeah, fantastic for Kaya Stables, the Caname Yard, and yeah, brilliant ride by Carl Newsom.
That's Mrs. Newsom, the Kaya Stable team, isn't it?
Laidlaw.
Laidlaw, that's right.
Laidlaw.
Mrs. Laidlaw. She's
Yeah.
a fantastic patron of theirs, and she's now Kaya Stables.
Yeah.
So,
Jet Explorer, James. Final. I like to see that 400 to finish time, James.
something had to run on. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, not in the Met. I'm sorry. Okay, might run a dirty fourth, but these horses will beat it, and I think Jackson will be absolutely prepped for the Met. He'll be the horse to beat. Cape Town Noir shown he gets the trip. Just such mouth-watering racing, and congratulations, as I say, to all the La Omrans people, and especially Jonathan Snaith for the work that they've done on this day. It's just fantastic. But we've got to move on because we've got some interesting stuff coming. We're going to go and have a look at the London News Stakes in Johannesburg, which is a Group 3, and we're going to watch the last 600 meters.
The judge, 7:50 left to go. Spitfire Run guards them for home. It's 2 lengths in front. Tiger Play. Wiley Hall has snuck through along the inside rail to go and race a length and a half off the lead. A little bit of trouble there for Wiley Hall, but he's barged his way through and he's put the nose in front. Wiley Hall's now the leader. Second place is Knock on Wood. Then comes Tiger Play. Spitfire Run's dropped away to fourth. Then comes Regal Stride. Wiley Hall's a length in front. Knock on Wood second. Then comes Tiger Play. Kalua Castle is towards the grandstand side, but Wiley Hall's shaken loose. He's 3-4 lengths in front. He's going to be hard to beat. Kalua Castle second. Then comes Talina. Wiley Hall still 2 lengths in front. Kalua Castle and Talina are on the chase. Wiley Hall's now getting cut down as Kalua Castle and Talina run on a grandstand finish. Talina won it from off the pace. Kalua Castle and Wiley Hall involved in a photo for second. Then came Glorious Jet, a cracking win. Talina has stuck the nose down.
Well, what a run by Talina. He's been a bit of a bridesmaid and won very, very nicely.
For me, that was the ride of the weekend. Glenn Hatt at his supreme best. Well done to Terry Young, Main Chance Farms, and of course Jeff Woodruff. Source has been a touch unlucky in his previous runs, but it's nice to see him rewarded. Glenn Hatt, ride of the weekend, James.
Fantastic ride. Kalua Castle from the same stable, from the Woodruff stable. And then Wiley Hall, you know, who really carried the weight. He had to give weight to these two. Ran a great race.
Yeah, you know, it was just, to put a lid on the weekend, this was a fantastic race to watch.
Right, we're going to move on and we're going to have a look at what we've got from Dubai. And as we show you at the end of Current Affairs, we'll show you some footage that I think that you'll really enjoy.
The line just about set. Stalls handlers clear the gates. Racing in the UAE Derby, Anasheed began awkwardly, missed it 2 lengths. Bourbonnais dropped back after the start. Baccarat came out very quickly. Victory Moon began well out of here, and Peasant left the gate running. Songlark is wide going forward. Lundy's Lane pushing through in the middle. 2 lengths away, Innamorato settling just a little better than midfield on the inside of Seattle Fitz. Tangeriano deep, so is Parhalion. Hard back on the rail on the inside of Bourbonnais. 2 lengths to Rahaf, who's second last, and Anasheed is a length away as they reach the 1400 metres mark. Baccarat showed the way with Peasant going up to be second. Out of here third on the inside of Victory Moon, and Lundy's Lane with that group. Songlark is travelling deep, a length away Parhalion, and next to Innamorato on the fence, 4 lengths off the speed. 3/4 Seattle Fitz, followed by Tangeriano, then Rahaf, Anasheed, and Hardbuck and Bourbonnais are the last pair as they pack up with 1,000 metres left to run in the Derby. Baccarat showing the way down the side by a half length over Peasant. Songlark strode up to be a clear third, but has worked. Out of here fourth. Victory Moon is being ridden along, coming to the turn, followed deeper out by Parhalion. Innamorato sticking to the fence. Frankie looking for the way through. Rahaf is out wide, commencing a run as the field in the Derby turns the corner with 600 metres left to travel, and Baccarat from Brazil showed the way into the straight. Songlark moved up on the outside. Parhalion's gone to third, followed by Out of Here. Then Lundy's Lane. Innamorato's under pressure. He went backwards. Seattle Fitz is deeper out as they reach the 300 metres mark, where Songlark had hit the lead from Baccarat. Victory Moon out in the clear is beginning to run on. It's Victory Moon coming after Songlark. Victory Moon for South Africa takes the lead in the Derby. Victory Moon clear of Songlark. Innamorato's got to third, but it's Victory Moon in front. Songlark comes again. Victory Moon. Victory Moon beats Songlark by a half length. Innamorato third. Then Out of Here, Bourbonnais, Seattle Fitz. A long break to Baccarat, Lundy's Lane, then Hardbuck, Parhalion, Tangeriano. Rahaf a long way back. So was Peasant, and Anasheed has come in last. 7, 15, 10 and 12, says the judge after the running of the UAE Derby. Victory Moon, written by Wayne Smith, by El Mufti from Dancing Flower, raced by the Mad Syndicate. Well, they certainly weren't mad when they purchased this colt, trained by Mike de Kock and ridden by Wayne Smith. Songlark by Sing Spiel, trained by Saeed bin Saror, written by Karen McAvoy, almost a fairy tale for the young Australian rider. And third was Innamorato by Tail of the Cat, trained by Saeed bin Saror and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Hard ridden, hard at work, 700 metres out. Victory Moon has outstayed them all to win the UAE Derby.
as promised last week, we said we'd be chatting to Mike de Kock about the Dubai Carnival, and he's got some really interesting horses. Nice to have been able to carry on with this show, Mike, while you've been here in South Africa. So it's all recorded, this. But I've seen the list of horses, and there really looks like there's some different type of horses to what you normally had.
Very exciting, James. You know, you need the numbers and you need to up your game there. There's no doubt about it, because you've only got 10 meetings. The attrition rate, unfortunately, is very high because the amount of pressure has been put on those horses for that very specific time. So you need the numbers, you need backup. Plus, you know, there's a hell of a lot of money to be won. So, you know, you've got to give it your all. And when you've got the Maktoums out there spending literally $40–50 million buying horses for the carnival, you have to up your game.
Let's go back to a couple of months ago. Now, you put these horses on the plane in June, July,
Yeah.
and they've travelled all over the world. How long were they in England for?
They were in England for about 40 days.
And you were overseeing quite a lot of that training there in England.
Well, yeah, they were at Abington Place with Stephen.
And then they've now moved to Dubai. They've been in Dubai, what, a month?
Just short of a month, not quite a month yet.
And you've spent the month there with them, so that's been very important, because the carnival starts in a week's time.
Well,
10
yeah,
days.
9–10 days time. You know, so it's come. The start of the carnival has come a little soon for most of them, but I think the South African horses will start coming to form at the end of January.
Yeah.
We may run one or two earlier. They're just going to have to go out there and gallop. You know, we're going to have to use the racetrack almost as a training track, but. We can't get around it. We've got to just deal with the cards we've been dealt.
Quickly on the tracks, how have the tracks held up? Are they the same as they were last year?
James, the track is trickier in Dubai. There's no doubt about it. It's not the same track that was the first year, the year 2000 or 2010. Sorry, when they laid that tapete originally, it was white in colour, was magnificent. I'd never worked on anything like it. The injuries were minimal. I don't know if these all-weather tracks in those harsh environments stand up, or if they have to get, you know, more replenishment every year, and they're not doing it. I don't know, but it's changed colour and it's definitely changed texture, and it's not an easy track to keep horses sound on. It's very difficult.
All right. Well, you've got a bunch of horses here, and that we got off the website, and I'm just going to run through horses. You can chat to me about them. The first one is Wednan. I do know about the horse, but
Dubai horse bought in France at the sale there. I can't think of the name. Arcana, I think it is. For Sheikh Mohammed. He won first up at Yarmouth for us. Beat in a fairly decent field. Nice horse, immature sort. I mean, we're hoping to go guineas with him. But he's had a couple of little niggles and setbacks since then, and he's got a bit sick as well. So he's probably on target to run in the guineas in in February.
Yeah.
But again, he's a horse, if he's not going to come right in Dubai, I'll sit on him for England, because he's a horse he's a group horse in England, there's no doubt about it.
What others would you have that would be your, like, guineas horses? Okay, the colts
Well,
that you've
there's
got.
the other one that I took
You
for
want
Sheikh Hamdan called Full Combat.
Yeah.
And then there's also Mary Slack's got Journeyman with me. He's also raced here only twice. And then what else is there? Yeah, those would be, and of course there's Moonfarad. He's a maiden, also Dubai, but I mean also a horse capable of winning. He's been placed twice. He won second in Newmarket for us, and then at Linkfield he won third. But also it's capable of winning a decent race.
You know, you say he ran second and third, and second in Newmarket and third Linkfield. I don't know that the viewers understand what type of races he's in. It might be a maiden plate, but when you get to those Class A racetracks, you get some hot horses there.
Yeah, James, we run him at Newmarket, 6 furlongs. The horse that beats us, and I can't think of who he's by, but he's out of a sister to Lamtara, Godolphin horse, worth millions. So I think, well, we'll just sneak down to Linkfield, under the radar, and just see if we can go and pinch a maiden there on the all-weather. See how he goes on the all-weather for Dubai. Well, I mean, $800,000, $1 million, $600,000, horses pitch up and beat you, you know what I mean? There's just nowhere to hide, James. There's nowhere to hide. This type of quality of horses, if you race at the proper racetracks, this is what turns up. You know, good horses there are quickly exposed. either they are or they aren't. And but if you go to the new markets and Linkfields and those type of things, you're going to take on quality horses. There's no ducking and diving there.
You can't go and do the Mark Prescott trick. You go up to the north and go and hide them away there. But it's expensive, isn't it?
You know what, James? You go there to get 1,100 quid, 1,200 quid.
Yeah.
It cost you probably 400 to get there. I mean, you're actually just going backwards. So you've got to try and go where there is a decent purse available, but everyone goes there with their decent horses. So, if you can beat them, then you're sitting with... even if you run in the first three, because I'm sure, he ran third in his maiden, but the horses that beat him, I have no doubt, are group horses.
Yeah.
So it's...
all right.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it interesting.
Well, your fillies, for the fillies guineas, because then they get the Balanchine and races like that you obviously target. You've been very good at getting the major prize in those.
With the fillies, I've got 3-year-old fillies there now. They're Mensura, she raced here. Jet Master, she won her first 2 starts and then ran in the Group 1 year. Ran a good race, was cleaned up. Magruma, also, same 1 year and ran in the Group 1, and Magrura. I would say Mensura and Magruma are the two really nice fillies. They could do something.
Ramya went wrong.
Ramya did a ligament. Yeah. She did a ligament. She didn't deal with it all. She's retired to stud. That's what happens, James, on the road. Joey's filly as well didn't travel well. Giant's Causeway. So she's resting to have an English campaign, which is probably the right thing for her. But that's what happens along the way. You do lose 1 or 2.
It's sad to lose a filly like Ramya because she did look really special, didn't she?
Unbeaten 4 from 4.
Yeah.
Really, really good filly.
Yeah. I got 4-1 first time.
Yeah. And, I mean, you look at the fillies she beat. Blue Ridge Mountain.
Yeah.
They were all behind her.
Yeah. Okay, let's go for the older horses because you'll know more about them than I'll know about. You've got Mars. Obviously, he's probably the flagship horse in your stable.
He's an exciting horse. He's by Galileo out of a sister to a stallion called Invisible Spirit, who's by and she's also by Danehill. So a nailed-on pedigree for stud anywhere in the world. He ran 6th in the Derby from Stone Last Flying. He then tees it up 2 weeks later in the St. James Palace, I think it is.
That's a mile.
Mile at Ascot.
Ascot, yeah.
Runs 3rd to Dawn Approach and
I
can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
He's back in again 2 weeks later, some race in Ireland. All the time we're chasing this horse. We identify him as the one we want, but telephone numbers attached, So he then went to Ireland now, having his 3rd run within 5 weeks. I think after running in the English Derby, and I promise you, James, if ever a race knocks a horse, it's that, if they're an immature sort. And it was a Group 3, and I think he ran 2nd. But I mean, he looked like on his form, he should have won it by 6 lengths. And I think then they just thought, okay, well, maybe he's not as good as we think he is. You can now buy him. They did retain, I think it's a quarter share, Coolmore retained. And then obviously Mary Slack came into the lion's share. Bernard, Larry are involved, Michael Javett. So a nice crew and exciting also if I can get the best out of him. He's obviously not straightforward. He's got his problems. Yeah. That's why they sell them. But hugely exciting, I think.
Will he go on the all-weather?
James, he won his first start over 1,400 at Dundalk. Start to finish by lengths on the all-weather. So I don't know. What does one do? Does one really have a full go to all-weather in there? Thinking, you must remember a horse like this, his value would be actually winning a proper race in England. Because then his value as a stallion shoots up. You win $2 million in Dubai, sure, you pay the rent. But it actually doesn't do a massive amount for his value, funny enough. It's just, So with that in mind, I think I could maybe a bit choosy about how I race him.
Okay. Mouton is a horse I've never seen.
Mouton was sent to me by Sheikh Hamdan from France. He's a horse that started his career pretty well with a big reputation, and he seems to have gone off. Quite a nice horse, works pretty well. We'll see how it goes.
How's he bred?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of it, James.
Okay, let's move on to Specific Gravity, another French horse.
Specific Gravity is a horse, myself, Johan Malherbe, Chris Haynes, McVeigh, a crew of us bought for not a lot of money from, what's his name, Cecil last year. He ran a few places for us, and he's back in again at the Carnival this year. I think he's also can win in the Carnival. He's had a year there now, he's settled in well.
So he's one of those sort of 95 to 105 handicappers that you're going to look at to win a couple of those handicaps. Every year 100%. You seem to target a couple of them, and they come right.
Those are the ones that pay the rent, James. You know, they win those $150,000, $175,000 handicaps. They pay the way. Rerouted is another typical of that type of horse. We bought another one called Red Duke.
Okay, I saw his name.
Yeah. You know, again, cheap horses. They got the issues, but you know, you try and patch them up, fix them, winning the Carnival.
Obviously, these are leaders back there as well.
Gerardus' case mount. As long as he's going around, it's Gerardus' ticket to Dubai. He comes over to ride him.
How's Gerardus
My
going?
flatmate.
Is he your flatmate?
Yeah, he gets there on the second. At least I'll be woken up every morning with a cup of tea and kicked out of bed.
Al Hebayeb.
Al Hebayeb is also one of, I think he's by Dark Angel, one of Sheikh Hamdam's horses. Another one a lot of thought of, hasn't really quite made it. They're giving him a bit of a rest now. Also showing a bit, he's working quite well. I mean, he's also run fairly early as well.
The last two, Sugar Boy and Vasily.
Sugar Boy's, he's a mystery, this horse. They paid a lot of money for him when he was with Marco Botti bought him for Sheikh Mohammed from Pentecost in Ireland.
Kevin Pendergast. Yeah, he's a great old horse coper. Kevin Pendergast.
Yeah, listen, he's no mug. Anyway,
horse coper that's ever been the Pendergast family.
So
they're up with the stacks.
They buy this horse and he just hasn't hit the boards. He's done, you know, he's just done nothing. And he's a horse that came out of all the Derby form, you know, ran with horses like Ruler of the World and all that type of thing. So he's an exciting horse, but he's obviously got his issues which we need to get right, you know. He's a real challenge, this horse. But if you get him right, he's a horse that could be anything. He's a Mars League type horse.
Okay, and the last one, Vasily?
Vasily were just some guys that phoned Stephen up and just wanted us. He's just a handicapper.
Yeah.
He's by Sadler's Wells, funny enough. But I think he must be 8 or something, 7 or 8. He'd be tripping over his beard, the poor thing there. But he's a handicapper. Seems a pretty honest type of horse.
So he's going to the 95, 105s as well.
Yeah, I think he's a 107 or something.
Looking at this list, I see you've got the major share of the overseas raiders, as they call them. How does a horse like him get accepted? Because I thought they were quite specific on what they allow you to take.
He's because of his rating.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you're over 100, you've got a big chance of being accepted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the South African horses. And obviously, Soft Falling Rain and Shay would be the two that, you know, we would really be interested in.
Yeah, both have had a good rest. Shay this year, I've gone another route with him. I'm going to run him on Super Saturday, World Cup night, and then hopefully the third run after the rest is going to be Royal Ascot, the race he got beat in last year. He's had a good rest. He's doing very, very well. He's been hugely exciting to train the horse. I mean, he gave me one of my greatest racing moments ever when he won the World Cup. He won on World Cup night. To see the joy on Brian Joffe, who is normally, I think he's quite doesn't let his emotion go that often. But for me, that has been one of my great highlights certainly for this year. It is the highlight, but one of a special racing moment for me. And I'm he also gave me one of my lowest ever, which was when he got beaten in the no, not the Nunthorpe, the Group 1 at Royal Ascot.
Oh, okay.
Can't think of the name.
Golden Jubilee.
No, it's the other one. Anyway.
Okay.
Because I mean, he looked a winner. You know what I mean? Okay, you didn't see the horse on the outside, and you just think to yourself, you know, going through the 400, I thought to myself, is it possible I'm actually going to have a winner here?
Yeah.
And you get grabbed on the line. Well, I mean, that's like somebody actually ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with losing quite well, but I mean, this was not that. It's just a disappointment of you got so near, but you're actually so far away.
But Mike, does it not give you that pleasure to know that you've achieved to have got there? You know, how few people, when you put, I look at Mike de Kock and I say, this guy came from Alberton, and he now is the king of the world as far as racehorse training is concerned. You got to get beat, but you still,
No, sure.
you know, it doesn't make you feel different.
Listen, you know, James, you've got to pinch yourself when you stand in the parade ring with all those great horses, great trainers and horsemen, and people you read about before that you didn't even know, and that are actually, they accept you and treat you as an equal. You know, and to race at that level in England and be competitive. I mean, I know, you know, listen, no one cares who runs second, but I mean, we do, you know, because we've come a long way, and it will be special for, not only for me, but as a South African horse-owned, trained, the whole South African scenario, to be there and to succeed at that level. I mean, it's just, it's mind-boggling. It blows you away.
Did you ever believe this was possible? When you took over Ricky Ginsberg's stable, did you have these type of dreams and ambitions?
James, no, not, you know, at the time you just wanted to make it, and then you'd think, well, I'd love to be a South African champion trainer one day. And then I caught a big pick six in 1990, whatever, and I went overseas, Diana, myself.
No, before you went overseas, I think the Carlton Hotel might have been the celebration.
Via there, we went via there. And I went to Newmarket. First I went to Chantilly. I spent a week there with John Hammond, and then I went to Newmarket. And we just walked around, and I said to the elf, if I'd ever trained here one day, that's the track that I would use, and this is where you know what I mean? It was just, and that's a long time ago. Not even thinking of how you're ever going to get there.
It's
like
late 90s
impossible.
it must have been.
It was 90 or 91. We caught
Yeah.
quite a big pick six, a whole bunch of us, Dean Maroon, and we were all involved. And you know, I could afford then to go on a trip abroad, which was very enlightening, spending the time in France. But it whet my appetite. I just thought myself, I'd love to play in this environment. And then obviously attending a race meeting in Dubai, when I went there with Pat had a runner for Bernard, Palace Line, I think it was.
That's right.
So I went to go and watch the horse run with Pat, and I said, no, this is for me, I've got to come. And the next year I got Ipitombi, so I was able to. But I mean, if I never got an Ipitombi, I don't think I ever would have made that step.
So Ipitombi would be the key to the whole thing. Victory Moon, I think he was the same time.
He came along, Victory Moon came along, but I mean, I wouldn't have gone for Victory Moon. I mean, I didn't really know how good he was at the time. I knew how good she was. And he came along virtually for the ride, hoping that he, you know, that he could do something on dirt. He looked like a big, strong horse, like a dirt horse. And, well, I mean, the rest is history. That was mind-boggling, what took place there.
All right, let's get back to the present. A couple of the horses, because people out there like to know about these horses. I see Heavy Metal and Variety Club. Are they in Dubai?
Yes, they're in Dubai. Yeah, that's fantastic, actually, having Sean and Joey on board there. Two really nice, very different horses. I'm really impressed with both of them, actually. And Joey and Sean are going to be spending a bit of time out there. They run for them. We obviously just keep them in the stables. It just works well. We all get on well and help each other out.
This is your dream. I seem to remember speaking to you maybe on this show before about how you wanted to have Team South Africa.
Yeah.
Are we getting there?
I think so, James. You know, Sean and Joey have obviously embraced it. And these horses will go on to Newmarket and be trained in Newmarket for, you know, in their names. And they'll obviously, it's going to be a good experience for both Sean and Joey as well, getting that sort of exposure. There's no doubt it'll help them sharpen their game up too. But you know, it's, for us as well, it's fantastic to work with these South African horses, these really good ones. You know, I've done it before for Sean, and to watch the joy on Chris van Niekerk's face when that filly won. I mean, the man was in tears. Can't think of it now. The grey filly, very fast.
National colour.
National colour, that's it. So I'm hoping we can get to that as well for Chris again, and for Marcus. You know, it'll be huge. I mean, we'll still probably have, you know, horses that run against them. You know, we'll still be competitive. But the fact is, you know, I'm out there to make sure and to see that the job gets done for them, and that they spend a bit of time over there with the horses. And again, it's you know, exposing the South African product. It's something I'm passionate about, James, and I really want to see South African reach their rightful place in the world. I'm passionate about South African racing.
Team South Africa is a huge concept. Mary Slack is obviously hugely influential in your life. And just to wrap up, how's she enjoying it?
Well, I can't really do it without her because, she's given me the opportunity to train in the best facility in the world. And without her, it wasn't going to happen. So I think she's getting a massive kick out of it. I think Jessica's probably getting even a bigger kick out of it because she's the mother hen there at Abington Place, taking care of the boys, putting us to bed when we've had too much to drink. So, it's something. I mean, I'm very, very privileged to be in this situation. I mean, I keep telling trainers, please come over and spend a week with us in Newmarket. Come and see. You'll absolutely. If you took a bloke like Joey Soma there, I don't think he'll come back.
No.
He'll go missing. That's it. He'll throw his passport away and just say, "That's it. I'm in heaven," which it is.
Yeah. Well, Mike, from us at Winning Ways and from the whole of South Africa, we wish you the very, very best with your campaign, not only in Dubai. And thanks so much for coming and chatting to us on the show. It's, as always, an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, James. It's great to be on the show.
There you go. We'll be chatting to Mike de Kock weekly. If we can get him on the phone before his golf game, we're going to try and do that. And hopefully we'll get the updates as they come along. But I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you a bit of an insight into the huge meal on Mike de Kock's plate. He's a big guy. Probably he'll eat it. But it will show the fruits of all the work that he's done over the next 3 months in Dubai. And we wish Team South Africa the greatest of success there. From me, James Goodman, until next time.